Hi, this is Paul Sanneman. I'm the founder of Contractor Staffing Source. We help contractors build great teams. This is my podcast, Business Success Tips, where we learn to make more money in less time and have more fun. I have as my guest Nate Seeley from BlueSoft, who's a marketing guy. So, Nate, can you tell me about yourself and what you do and why people should listen to what you have to say?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on, Paul. I really appreciate it. So we're kind of our biggest accomplishment is we're currently a web design vendor, preferred vendor for the Pacific Southwest Better Business Bureau. So we handle mostly California, Arizona. So that's been great working with the BBB. Obviously, they have a lot of contractors, and that's kind of has become our specialization. Is focusing on contractors, all kinds of contractors, HVAC, plumbers, low voltage, home builders. But yeah, I've been doing this for over 17 years now. Been running BlueSoft for about 8 years now, I believe. And it's been an exciting journey. And I really started this business because, I saw a huge gap between the business owner and their internet marketing, their website. And there's really just a lot of frustration in the area, right? Just trying to get an edit on your website or get a hold of somebody that cares and is actually. And another big thing is holding themselves accountable, right? So if we're taking on a client, we want to take them through our process and put all the measures in place so that they can really monitor where they're at. For example, keyword rankings, the number of calls they're getting, text messages, recording those phone calls, form captures, and really being able to figure out, what's going on, like what's your cost per lead, how much what's your cost per click, your cost per lead, all the metrics that are really going to matter to you so you can determine how much you can spend to acquire a customer. So it's not like we just build you a website. We really work with you in many different aspects to make sure you're also taking care of the foundational stuff. There's a lot of foundational stuff that clients
So,
miss.
Nate, what is the foundational stuff that most people are not doing and they should do? Because whether they hire you or not, they should do the foundational stuff, right? So,
Absolutely.
what is that foundational stuff? What does that mean?
Yeah. So, there's so many platforms these days. The number one thing that I tell all businesses is at least get your Google business profile up and running, get reviews on that thing, because people still go to Google when they're searching for services, whether it's HVAC, low voltage, contractors, whatever it might be. And those trends are still trending upwards, even on when we're doing our keyword research and things like that. So that's like the number one, right? Just get that listing, because then you have a chance to show up locally. So if you're a small business, you can still show up, get reviews on those, get that thing optimized. And then
Question, Nate, how do you get reviews? You like call people and have them do it? Because a lot of people, you know, they've done a great job for a lot of people, but they aren't able to get the reviews. You have some kind of methodology for helping people get reviews?
Yeah, absolutely. Once you have your Google business profile up and running, there's a little link. So once you claim it, you just Google your name, and then it's going to show when you Google your name. Since you have access to your Google business profile, you can get there's a special link that says request reviews, and when you send that out to a customer or a client, it's going to open up a pop-up right away, and they can just leave a review. So you're kind of taking steps out of it, right? They don't have to look for your business online and then find the review link and then leave a review. So you're really trying to take as much of that out as you can. But some contractors do really well on Yelp, Thumbtack. So it's variety, but I would say focus on Google, because a lot of those other smaller business directories can kind of come and go and really decline in quality. So
Now, when you send them a Google review, is it best to call them and make sure they do it, or email? Because I've done that in the past, and sometimes they just don't do it.
yeah, I think it's part of having and that was another really foundational is the next step I would even recommend before a website is making sure you have your customer relationship management system up and running and is updated, because then you've got the customer information. And a good CRM is going to tell you when you send an email, did they open that email? Did they click on the link? And then just, I would say it's kind of part of a standard operating procedure, maybe once a month or however, volume you have, go through and just make sure that all your recent clients have left a review on your Google business profile. respond to those reviews. That's another thing is you're going to be responding to these reviews on Google Business Profile. So you're going to kind of know who's left you review by going back and reviewing your CRM data as well.
Do you have any particular choice on a CRM that a small business could use?
Yeah. It's something I've helped a lot of businesses use. We've currently started reselling High Level, which I really like. I feel like you just get a crazy amount of bang for your buck with High Level. I mean, it's got everything. And, we sell it less than, you can buy it directly from them for like, I think $99 a month, but you're getting email marketing, a CRM, your social media platform posting, you're getting online booking, so all these, it literally has everything. And for you to do that and go out, you'd have to get like MailChimp for your email marketing, say Zoho for your CRM or some other system.
We use that same software. We use Go High Level, but the question is, we got Go High Level, we got HubSpot, we got Infusionsoft, name it, right? So what if the average contractor does not have the technical expertise to even know what the hell they're doing with Go High Level? So how do they fix that part? Because they're not an IT.
There's actually companies that are popping up that specialize in helping you with High Level. So they'll train you, they'll get you in there, and you just tell them what kind of automations you want. And that goes for any major CRM. There's people who specialize in Zoho, people who specialize in House Call Pro, and all these. So I would recommend that, well, I have a long kind of process for shopping for a CRM because it's a critical step. I don't just recommend one because everybody has different needs and different wants and things that are important to them. But my process is this for a CRM, like, go research the market for a niche CRM, right? You want to find something that caters. If you're a builder and there's specific CRMs for, builders, then I'd recommend at least doing a sales console and demo with their sales staff to really figure out if it's a good one. And then make a wants list and a wish list, right? Or I'm sorry, a needs list and a wish list. And then really refine that, start to add to it. Like, okay, well, I want social media posting. Well, I want automated marketing.
The problem is a lot of these guys don't know what they don't know.
Right.
Like, you throw out a bunch of words that I imagine half this audience doesn't have a clue what you're talking about. So how do you sort of dumb it down a little bit for the audience here? Whereas what does a needs list look like? And how do you even, can you go to ChatGPT and say, create me a needs list for a, remodeling contractor or something? Is there
a good idea?
Okay.
Yeah, I totally get it. And I think that's where, a person like myself comes in handy, is because if I do a free consult with you, I'm not going to charge you a bunch of money. I was going to charge $65 an hour, and we're going to go through and I can help you kind of get to the bottom of this stuff and talk to you about your workflow and only mind mapping your customer process, right? Like literally just a diagram of, hey, I meet and greet the customer. I go do an estimate. I send them the proposal. I follow up on that proposal. Having your sales process mapped out. It's like the E-Myth by Michael Gerber is kind of picturing what would it be like if you were to roll out the red carpet for your customer client. What does that process look like? And then worry about getting your CRM to help you fulfill that process. If you want to boil it down, I think that's a good way to look at it.
Okay, great. So what else is foundational besides a good CRM?
Yeah, so your CRM, and that's kind of too a lot. Like, we could do like just a podcast on this, because once you have your customer data, now you can do email follow-ups, you can do postcards, you can do all kinds of great stuff to automate stuff, request reviews. But I won't go too far down that rabbit hole. But all right, so you've got your CRM, you've got your Google Business Profile. Now, I would say at this point is probably a good time to really get a website, because you're especially as contractors, people want to know you're legitimate. I've listened to a lot
Everybody
of
has
calls.
a website, but what is a difference between a website, like you did it yourself or had your nephew do it, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Versus doing a good one. How do you tell the difference in a good website and not a good website?
Yeah, let me take you through our process really quick on that. I'll try to boil it down. So the first thing you want to do with the website is you got to do a deep dive discovery. Whoever's building it for you, they need to understand your business inside and out, what services you offer, what your value propositions are, all that good stuff. And they should really understand your business. It's, I would say, at least an hour discovery call. After that, you would go into keyword research and sitemap building. So this is where you're, because generally Google ranks web pages, not necessarily websites. So the more pages you have on your website that are optimized for specific keywords, the better chance you have of showing up. So if you take that back, we use tools, keyword research. We like Mangools, MANGOOLS.com, I believe. And that helps us analyze the competition, right? Because if you're launching a website and you're not established, you don't want to go after, you know, the really competitive keywords, and a keyword research tool is going to help you look at the search volume for the keywords. So this is three things we're looking for when we're doing this keyword research. We're looking at search volume to make sure it's going to be worth it. We're going to optimize it. You're going to get enough search volume to make it meaningful and worth your time. Number two, competition. And the one that most people miss is buyer intent. Where are they at in the buying cycle when they're Googling that keyword, right? And one I like to use, and isn't really relevant to this, but it kind of drives it home. If, let's say you're a knee surgeon, would you want to rank for best knee surgeon in Phoenix, or would you want to rank for knee pain, right? Knee pain has tons of search volume, but they might just need an Advil, and you're going to get a ton of irrelevant traffic if you were to rank for that. But best knee surgeon in Phoenix, they know where they're at. They know what they need.
I have a
So buyer
question.
intent.
Can you geo-fence keywords?
Well, you know, you can definitely optimize your site, especially if you're hyper local. Then you definitely want to try to get, you know, if you're a contractor in Glendale and you don't want to go too far outside of Glendale, Arizona, then you would probably optimize your website more for Glendale, Arizona. And there's other things that you can do to add kind of geo-targeted keywords as well. So that first step, we've built out your sitemap. We've done the keyword research, right? So now we know exactly what pages are going to be on your website and what each page is going to be targeting in terms of keywords. So you're going to have a focus keyword and a supporting keyword. Now we understand that, we get that approved to the client.
What's the difference between a focusing keyword and a supporting keyword?
Yeah, so a focus keyword would be the main keyword, right? That's going to be in our H tag, which is an important
Like home
HTML.
remodeling, or buy a new home, or fix my air conditioner, or I want to paint my house.
Yeah, yeah, obviously I need to do keyword research to figure out if any of those are good, right? But yeah, your main kind of, almost like the page name, like, so if it's interior painting services, right? That might be a focus keyword. And then interior painting services, Glendale, Arizona might be a good supporting keyword. Just really closely related. So supporting keywords are very closely related to the main keyword. You're not going to go too far off in terms of that. And then you're going in the content phase, which is, we use a framework that I developed after reading Copywriting Secrets by Jim Edwards and a bunch of other copywriters, John Kennedy. But now you need to write the content in a manner that's convincing. It builds trust, it overcomes objections, it builds, you know, credibility, it shows proof of your work. So once we do that, and we like to use, again, a really good framework that overcomes all those objections, and also adds in, you know, we add in additional content information through like an FAQ section on every page, so that we get more content on there, but allows people to self-service. So now we've got, as we're writing that content,
back up a little bit, Nate. On content, obviously AI has changed a lot of generating content issues, right? So can you use AI to say, okay, what are the 5 questions I should ask if somebody wants to build a new house, or what are the 3 questions I should do this? Can you use AI to help develop some of that content or not?
Absolutely. I would use GPT-4 if you are going to use any AI for content. But know this, that when you're just like doing just surface level prompts with AI, you're going to get kind of just generic garbage. Usually you really need to understand, and that is a new skill. Working with
prompt
AI
engineer, right? A whole
really
new occupation, right?
Yes, absolutely. Prompt engineer. You have to know how to structure those. Like, for example, if we're going to write content and you're writing a section you want to specify things like what, hey, Chat GPT, optimize this section for this keyword using the problem agitate solution copywriting framework, and make it 300 words long. And that's just a surface level prompt. You're going to even want to dig into more of those prompts. And that's why people pay us. We stay up to date on that kind of stuff too. But we like to do a lot of hand
GPT
stuff.
is only as good as the prompt engineering that goes into it.
Yes, right? Absolutely. Garbage in, garbage out, for sure.
Okay.
So after that, yeah, you've got your keyword, you've got your sitemap, you've got your content written. Now we go into the development stage, and there's a lot of things that can go wrong here, because when you're going to the development stage, design and dev, there's a lot of different on-page search and optimization things that need to be taken care of, such as alt text, proper H tag, so heading tag structure, which tells Google kind of the overall structure, right? So it's like, think of like a document. You've got your main title of the document, which in HTML language is going to be your H1 tag. And then you've got your subtopics, which are H2, and then subtopics of those are H3. Those are important. Your alt text for accessibility, letting Google know what the image is about.
So now we're getting a little
linking.
technical into SEO,
Yeah.
but I guess it's good to know what you're doing about SEO. So
Exactly.
Google changes our algorithms all the time, right? So
Yep.
So you have to know how to look good to the Google bot that's going to be putting your website somewhere on the internet, right? And if you don't know how to talk to that bot in bot language, whatever it is of the week, you will probably not get it in the right place. Is that accurate?
Yeah. And you got to use your keyword research and your sitemap. That's why it's important to have a really solid process to make sure that you're getting those keywords where you need to get them. So,
okay.
And then you've got things like your title tags and meta descriptions, which also need to be optimized. And I know I'm digging down, but I do like to let people know that, hey, it's not just about firing up a web page and putting some pretty stuff on it. There's a lot of technical stuff that goes into it. And now, let's say you've got your website done, you still need to make sure that it's loading fast, right? You're compressing and optimizing images. Again, I've seen it many times where a client will like, oh, I added some images to the website and it's 8 megabytes in size. Now, to put that in perspective, if someone's on their phone and say 4G network, to download an 8 megabyte image when they hit your website, it's going to take them a while, and they're probably going to hit the back button before that thing finishes loading. So it's like, and I totally get it. It seems like, let me just put some images up. It's going to be nice. It's going to be easy, but there's just so many things that need to be taken into account, just doing basic things if you want to be competitive. So you've got the design and dev done. There's also things. So like when you launch your website, you've got to submit your sitemap to Google Search Console. Google Search Console is how you communicate with Google, right? So, if you're setting up your website properly, you're going to have an XML sitemap. And that XML sitemap just tells Google, hey, here's all the web pages on my website. Please come index me, right? Because another kind of mistake people make is that just because you have a website, they think they're in Google. That's not necessarily the case. And you could have things that keep you out of Google, such as...
Now, let me have a question. I'm asking this right now. This is a question for you.
Absolutely.
I've got an old website that's I'm getting a new website built. Okay. When I launch, and my current website's doing really well as far as running the first page on all over the planet, right? So when I launch my new website, does it automatically get all that good SEO the old website has or not?
Depends. Yeah. So if you keep the URL structure the same, or do 301 redirects, then you can definitely keep that. So for example, did you say you had a domain change, or did you just launch a new website?
Just do it. I had old website, Contractor Staffing Source, new website, Contractor Staffing Source. Okay. And I had a bunch of stuff. I had somebody change, which is great because a bunch of stuff, but I'm going to this, it's sort of a revised old website, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
Now, I have this fear, maybe you can answer my question here, that when I launch the new one, I'm like on number 2, 3 Google all over the planet. If you're looking for recruiting for contractors, is that going to change it when I launch a new website or not?
It absolutely could. Cause if you are, so I'll assume that you've done the same SEO techniques and all that, right?
Right.
But one good way to make sure that you're good is to use a search operator. So if you go site : and your domain name in Google, that's going to show all of your pages indexed in Google. And the best thing, and that we do this on every large project where we're relaunching a website. Now you have all the pages that you have indexed in Google. Google's saying this is all what we have. You click on each one and you make sure that it's sending you to the proper page, because a few things can happen. Number one, if you've changed your URL structure, you're going to get a bunch of 404 errors, and a 404 error is bad. That tells Google. So if you have Google Analytics installed, Google's going to see that, hey, this person got a 404 error. They immediately click the back button. This is a bad experience, right? Why are we showing this website in our search results? So if you've changed your URL structure at all, like let's say you went from, staffing slash, jobs to job/staffing, you know what I mean? You've changed your URL structure a little bit. Now you need to make sure that those redirects are done with a 301 redirect, which tells Google, hey, this page is permanently moved from here. So if there are any backlinks or anything like that, please, point them to this new address, and your server will do those automatic redirects. So that's really one good way, is using that search operator. And every page, even if you have 1,000 pages indexed in Google, you need to click on every one and make sure, and use like a Google sheet or something and map those side by side. You should literally be able to see the old URL, new URL, old URL, new URL side by side, and make sure everything's perfect.
Okay, good. Thanks. I may hire you in a minute after this podcast. Here we go.
Happy to help,
keep
man.
going.
Happy to help.
Okay. Okay.
So design and dev, you're taking care of the Google Search Console, Google Analytics, you're setting up all that stuff. And then, there's other things that you can do, like adding on, your geo-targeted pages. So if you wanted to focus on, Phoenix, Scottsdale, you can make other pages for those. But kind of going into the next phase after design and dev is really going to be tracking and support on our end. So what we do for every website that we manage is, and this is where a lot of web design companies drop the ball. They got you're paying the retainer. They just want, a lot of them just want to hear as little as possible from you. They just want to collect your money and be done. What we do is we actually set you up in a system that's going to track 100. So all those keywords that we researched, we're going to put those in a rank tracker, and we're going to send you a report every month that's going to show you where you're at in Google for those specific keywords. So every month you get that report. We don't touch it. It's a third-party software, so you know what's going on. And in that report, you're getting other things. You're getting uptime reports, right? A lot of clients don't even know when their websites go down. They don't even know their website is down sometimes when I talk to them, and, we're kind of onboarding them. You're getting speed tests, so performance and speed tests, making sure that your website's loading good. I mean, a software update can come through and mess up a plugin, and all of a sudden your website's loading at half the speed, which is now going to hurt your organic rankings. Again, the rank tracking, and then all that white label reporting goes right to your email. And so we work with you month after month. If you say, hey, Nate, we want to get some better rankings for this keyword or whatever, we say, okay, well, here's an action plan. Let's implement this. And just go from there. But that support is critical, because a lot of businesses, they just don't know where they're at. They might throw a Google search in from time to time and be like, I'm not ranking for this. Well, is the website targeting that keyword or optimized for it? So,
okay.
Yeah.
I think that's really good advice. I mean, I think your strength, Nate, is you're incredibly technical. I think that's your weakness too, because you told me, I thought I knew a lot of this stuff, and you went over my head, boom, a bunch of times. So that's the good news and the bad news, right?
Right.
So I would suggest, if you have issues, in fact, I may talk to Nate after this very podcast about your website or what's going on, I would definitely give Nate a call. Sounds like he really knows what he's talking about, or marketing in general. And so, Nate, how do people get in touch with you?
Yeah, absolutely. You can go to bluesoftwebsites.com and check us out there, our portfolio. You can give me a call at 623-204-0767. Always happy to help out in any way. And we always do a free consultation and make sure we can help you. So
great. Well, thanks, Nate. I appreciate you being here. I definitely suggest you should call Nate. I may after this podcast. Thanks a lot,
Awesome,
Nate. I appreciate
Paul.
it.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.